Hi, my name is Nick Froats, and welcome back to Season 4, Episode 3 of The Current. Today we are interviewing students that are involved in the Upperman African American Cultural Center and discussing their experience of being black at UNCW, which is a predominantly white institution. So let's get to it.
Hi, my name is Colby Edwards, and today we're discussing the Black experience here at UNCW. I'm going to be interviewing two students involved in the Upperman African American Cultural Center. Before we get into the interview, we want to give some necessary context. So UNCW is a predominantly white institution, also known as a PWI. According to the Office of Institutional Research and Planning, UNCW has a total of 18,030 students. Only 6% of the overall demographics are black students for a total of 1,046 students. Within the classroom setting, UNCW offers a minor in Africana Studies and many classes focused on African American topics within different majors and minors. One place where many black students find their place and sense of community is in the Upperman African American Cultural Center, which is commonly known as UP. Upperman has 16 different student organizations and other opportunities to get involved within black culture. One part of black culture at UNCW includes the Road to Sankofa, which celebrates and honors black students from the moment they accept their offer of admission to when they graduate. Today we're interviewing Rhyan Madden and Sydney Thaxton, two black students who are actively engaged here at UNCW and involved within Upperman. Rhyan and Sydney do not speak for all black students, so let's get into the interview and hear their stories.
My name is Sydney Thaxton, and this is my second semester here as a freshman. I'm also a member of the women's volleyball team, and I am heavily involved on campus, especially through the Upperman African American Cultural Center and clubs including BWA, BSU, BPLA, and still currently trying to get involved in my off season. I'm also in the working of creating a Black Student Athletes Association, which aims to unify black student athletes together and get them more involved with the black community here on campus. I'm also heavily involved with Students Demand Action, which is a club aimed to keep our school campuses safe from gun violence. And yeah, that's all about me, yes.
What about you, Rhyan?
So yes, my name is Rhyan. I am a senior here. I transferred from Wingate University my sophomore year. I originally came for track and field, but since then, you know, kind of became a regular student. Yes, I know I'm not an athlete anymore, but I am still heavily involved on campus. I am a part of the Theta Iota chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, where I serve as treasurer. I'm also vice president for MAPS, research committee head for Coalition of Black Student Leaders. I am a mentor for the Excellence Project. And I am a senior representative for BSU and many other things that I cannot think of right now, but yes, very heavily involved, so yes.
So you're both kind of like super involved within Upperman specifically. How has that like kind of influenced your like experience here on campus?
Well, my fall semester, I was not involved in Upperman at all because I was adjusting to being a student athlete. And when you're in that mindset of being a student athlete, you're kind of thinking like, I don't have time for anything else. And so coming back my spring semester, I was like, I'm gonna get involved. And because I've gotten involved, I've had the best college experience of my life. And I'm continuing to enjoy my college experience, so.
I'm similar to Sydney. When I first came here, I was running track and field like I mentioned before. And then I realized that I wanted to be more than just an athlete. And when I came, it was the year that COVID hit. So my options were kind of limited. So I didn't really go to the Upperman until really the fall semester of this year. But since then, Upperman has shown me a community that I didn't know I would have or existed on campus. It made me step out of my shell, out of my comfort zone, because I am definitely not one of those people who like to be in the light. But since I've been in the UP, I have been put into that light and been shown as a leader. So it makes me feel better because that is what I want to do ultimately in life. So, yeah.
You both said like you kind of came here for being a student athlete. So did your race play a factor in that decision? Because like in the introduction, I kind of talked about the statistics of the demographics and everything here. So out of the 18,000 students, only 6% are Black students. Like, did that really play into your decision of coming here?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially, I was being recruited when everything with George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement had happened. I was a COVID recruit, so I didn't actually get an in-person visit. But it's one thing to read the statistic on the internet, and then you come to the actual school and you're like, okay, I'm the only Black person in my class. When I came here, I was literally in Wilmington off campus, like, where are the Black people? And that's an experience. So it's one thing to read it and then actually see it and go through it. So it's been an ever evolving kind of process.
I would have to agree with Sydney. When I came here and I toured, I took a unofficial visit here due to track, and my coach showed me where all the African Americans hung out at. And so when I got here, when I was touring here, I was like, okay, it is more Black people than I thought. But when I actually got here, I was like, okay, where did they go? Like, I don't see you on campus. I don't walk past you. I don't see you in the cafeteria. I don't see you in my classes. So it definitely opened my eyes when I officially moved on campus, and I had to adjust. It was a big culture shock.
Absolutely.
Yeah, seeing it like just coming here and like seeing on like when people take tours, they see Upperman, they're like, okay, there are Black students here, but actually like living the experience is different.
Yes.
Of like being in the classes, even just like walking Chancellor's every single day.
Yes, exactly.
Do you feel that Black students are burdened with having to educate other racial groups about the like Black student experience here?
I'll speak on like a national level too, not just UNCW. I don't think it's our responsibility to have to educate people. I think that's more so on the education system to kind of incorporate Black culture and African American history into their curriculum. And I feel that we as students or the younger generation end up having to find ourselves in instances where we have to educate because of the lack thereof.
Yeah.
And so I feel as though, yes, people should take the time to educate, but just as we've learned American history cover to cover, people should also, I expect them to also incorporate our history into theirs, because we are the basis of American history after all, so.
Yes. To go off of that, I always say that Google is free, and to be ignorant during this day and age is a choice. So I do feel like she said, nationally, I don't feel like it's the responsibility of African Americans to educate white people on the history of African Americans, since like Sydney said, like we are incorporated into history a lot, and a lot of things within history would not have been made possible without African Americans. I also feel like even if we do agree to educate them and give them some type of resources or information about Black history, it all comes down to them wanting to and willing to listen. Okay. We can tell you all day, we can preach till we're red in the face, but it's up to you to listen and apply that to your life, and we can't do that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, UNCW has incorporated curriculum, Africana studies, and a lot of the gen ed courses are geared towards expressing and exposing diversity. At the end of the day, it's up to the students to take those courses and to really apply the material to their lives.
Yeah, because hearing it and listening is two separate things, and then also like when you listen to it, how are you going to implement that information into like your own life?
Right.
And really like then how do you educate other students about that? Kind of like going off of that, what does it mean to be Black in your eyes?
Strong. Since history, we have gone through a lot, and a lot of what's happened in history still continues to this day or is reminiscent in this society. So I feel it's being strong and being able to come and do talk shows like this, being able to get a college education and going and doing something with your life, that's strength despite everything going on in society.
I always think of, when I hear the term Black, I always think of excellence, because it's so many contributions within the world alone that Black people have done. And like Sydney was saying, I think Black people are the most powerful human beings on earth, and we have so many so many attributes to ourselves that is oftentimes dismissed by white people, and it's like this. It's already a stereotype of what a black person is and what they try to be and what they're good at. But it's so many more things that black people are good at that just get swept under the rug. So I always think of excellence because we're excellent in all aspects.
How does your identity of being black also affect your identities of like any other identity? Because it is very like intersectional.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she said, it's that victim thing. You put black student athlete or black female. Black automatically entails victim. Oh, you went through something. Oh, this, that. And it's like, why can't it just be, I'm a black female just like she's a white female, or she's a Hispanic, or she's an Asian female. But you hear black in front of anything, and it's like, oh, automatically got to sensitize it. You know what I mean?
And when we talk about like jobs and careers, I can't speak for all careers, but the field that I'm in is a white male-dominated field. So a lot of times I always think about like in my future, how is it going to be difficult for me to run my business being a black woman? And I hear a lot of times from white men that I have an advantage. Like, because I am a black woman, people are going to gravitate towards my business. People are going to come to me and find comfort in me and confide in me. But then when I look on social media and I just go through day-to-day life, it just seems like it's the opposite. Like, I feel like people are not going to take me seriously. And it's even like issues within our own community, which we don't need to speak about right now, but that even furthers that thought of failure, or people are not going to take me seriously. So, yeah.
Yeah, it can always be a thing of do this because she's black. Like support her business because she's black. That's how it is on social media. It's like, oh, we got to support black business because they're black. Support Asian because they're Asian.
But not because they're a good business.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Like we're in the grand scheme of things, we're all just humans living on this earth trying to make a living. She has a business, I have a career or whatever, and that's just is what it is. It shouldn't have to always entail race so people feel bad and they, it's weird. But I understand given the history, but I don't think it should be that way. I think we're better than that as a society.
Yeah. So kind of just like wrap us up, if there's any black students like considering UNCW or even currently here that aren't really super involved, like what are some like pieces of advice that you would give them?
Well, many of the seniors who have contributed to Black life here, improving Black life on this campus, are about to graduate cross stage this fall. And to me, I feel as a new generation of students, a new class, that it's our responsibility to uphold those organizations that we've fought to get here. Because at the end of the day, they're leaving UNCW better than the way they found it. Yeah. And it's up to us to not only uphold those clubs, but make sure that those clubs stay here because they're the only representative clubs that we have on this campus. So to that, I say, for me, it took me breaking out of my shell to realize how much opportunity there is, not even through Upperman, but all these other clubs. And so you have to get out, you have to break out, and you can't expect people to give you anything. You have to come and earn it. You have to establish relationships.
Yes, I agree with all of what you said. I will also add, just find your sense of community. Like, even if you feel alone and you come here, and you're like, oh, I'm not accepted by, because it's an issue. Like, I'm not accepted by the Black community. I'm not accepted by the white community. It's always an organization. It's always a club that you're going to find people who are like-minded. And so don't let a few people deter you from leadership opportunities that can benefit you in the future. Because there's a lot of opportunities found within other organizations besides the UP that helps you take those stepping stones into your future career path. So just don't get deterred by people that you first meet. Don't let first impressions deter you away from stepping outside your comfort zone and becoming the leader that you are destined to be.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like sometimes you have to do that outreach yourself. Like, you have to find that community.
Right.
It's not always going to be something that's handed to you.
Right.
Like, our university does have those resources, but it's something, like, sometimes you have to look for it.
Exactly. We do have, like we said, we do have Black representation on this campus. It's up to you at that point to go out and meet people.
Well, that's a wrap for today's interview. I just want to thank you both for just coming to the Current and just really like talking about your experiences and like what you've experienced since you've been here the past year or a few years.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, Kobe. This is fun.
Before we go, we're going to do a little game with y'all. It's Spin the Wheel, where there's just rapid fire questions going off, and you're both just going to be able to answer them and kind of like let us know more of like the fun things and different things about you that you wouldn't be able to see. Okay, so the first question is your best memory at UNCW.
Okay. By far, my best memory at UNCW is joining my sorority. I love it. I loved everything about it, meeting my new sisters, creating that new community. That's probably like my favorite memory. Also, homecoming court.
Yes, that's something we got to do together.
Yes, homecoming court was so fun, and I got to meet so many new people like you, Kobe, and I'm so happy that I got to meet y'all, and it was fun.
It was really fun.
It was a really fun time. So yeah.
Mine was absolutely attending the BSU fashion show. And Kobe was sitting next to me actually. So we were going crazy for you. I was sitting there like the entire time, and it's just like those kind of things like empowered me. I was like, I love it. So that was my favorite memory by far.
My favorite scene by far was Shades of Brown. Love that scene.
Everybody
loved
was
being in it. Yes, in the brunch scene.
I love the brunch scene. Oh, good.
Inner Beyonce coming out.
Okay, the next question is,
Who's gonna tip?
Favorite place at UNCW?
Favorite place at UNCW? Honestly, I'm gonna say Upperman.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm gonna say Upperman. That's been like the best. I go there every single day. I can't go a day without Upperman, honestly.
Yeah, I go when I can because I'm pretty busy. But when I do, I always enjoy the vibes in there and the conversation. We be getting into some deep conversations.
Yeah.
It's just so great.
It's this running joke in Upperman. It's like when you come to Upperman, you can't get homework done because everyone's so just social and always something going on. So,
and music is always playing. It's like,
Last question that we have. Who's your favorite artist?
No one really listens to her, but I love Amy Winehouse.
I love Amy Winehouse. Okay.
I'll just learn something new about Ryan. I love Amy Winehouse. She just has a one-of-a-kind voice that you don't see anymore. And she's like the Michael Jackson female version of my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would not be doing myself justice if I did not say Lauryn Hill. I literally got her tatted on my arm. Yes, that is her.
One album and just ended.
But it still hits
one
to this
album
day.
tattoo.
Right.
And she's the first African American woman to win 7 Grammys at a Grammys for that one album, and it still hits to this day. She's a effing goddess.
Yes.
Okay, well that's all that we have for y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming.
Thank you, Kobe.
Thank you.
It's just
This
fun.
was fun.
Yes.
I love this.
Yes.
I'm Alyssa Douglas, and welcome to Wave Watch. Here at UNCW, we are dedicated to inclusion while highlighting diversity. Upperman at UNCW is a great and well-established department that focuses specifically on Black culture. Within our university, we have multiple art exhibits that highlight our variety of cultures. Recently, the Bozeman Art Gallery on the 2nd floor of the UNCW Student Union highlighted a collection by UNCW alumnus Brian Braswell titled, "I Met God, Did You Know She Was Black?" You can check out a virtual gallery exhibit on the Bozeman Art Gallery exhibits page. While there is still a lot of work to be done regarding social equality, Upperman, Black Student Union, Centro Hispano, Asian Student Association, and many more are paving the way for future UNCW generations. Well, that's all for Wave Watch. I'm Alyssa Douglas. Catch you on the waves.
Thanks for watching The Current. Tune in next time for episode 4.
I saw you look at me. I was like, ah. Okay.